I don't go to Target much anymore. Of course, I'm from Northwest Arkansas, where Walmart is stationed out of. We have a few Targets, but it's just always better to go to Walmart here. I used to go to Target though. Do you remember back with the snack bar with those good Rice Krispie treats and the smell of popcorn as you walked into the store and the great amiibo hunts back in the 2010s? Target was always the best place to get your toys to life. Oh, what a good time. And I still go back to Target from time to time for the collectibles and for the games, and Black Friday is no exception. Black Friday is definitely the time that you might consider going to Target to save some money. So let's see what they've got for sale dirt cheap for Black Friday. And I should also mention that my sponsor, Meta PCs, also has a Black Friday sale as well, with RAM up to 65% off and ready-to-ship systems up to $650 off. And if you use code Boogie, you're going to save even more. So check it out, link down below. Taking a look at the hardware, it's pretty much the same deals we've seen elsewhere, but they are not bad deals. $499 for the PlayStation 5 bundle with Spider-Man. That's a very good game and a very good deal. Basic Xbox Series X, saving $50 and getting a $75 gift card, which will get you a free game or just about anything else at Target. That's a really solid deal as well. I wouldn't mind getting a second Xbox Series X for the bedroom at some point, but definitely not this Black Friday. You also can save $110 off of the Diablo 4 bundle, and Diablo 4 was great and then terrible and then it's getting better. So you might be interested in that game. I wish they did more with like the skinning and everything else. I wouldn't mind having a cool looking Diablo 4 trash can. I call it a trash can because it looks like a trash can. The Xbox Series X is weird looking, but I do love it. MetaQuest 2, it's a solid VR entry level. You're going to enjoy doing it. If you're into VR, I've kind of given up on it. But again, we've seen this deal elsewhere. MetaQuest 2 for $50 off, and then also you get a $50 gift card, which you can use to buy stuff. It's linked to Facebook and all that. There's a lot of things to complain about with the MetaQuest 2, but it is a very decent VR device. I wish I hadn't given up on it. Maybe I'm going to dig mine out at some point. The Series S, again, I've always said if you can afford it, get the Series X, but the Series S definitely has its uses. It is considerably cheaper, right? Which, I mean, obviously is important to a lot of people, especially with inflation and everything else being what it is. And honestly, I've had friends who've turned it into emulation devices, which I think is not a bad thing. You can, for $250, you jailbreak that thing, and if you've got the emulation library or know how to get it and drop it on there, ooh, developer mode is no joke when it comes to the Series S. So keep that in mind. I really want to do it at some point. It's just complicated, and I'm not that smart. Nintendo Switch Lite with Animal Crossing for $200 is great. Animal Crossing was a great game. The Nintendo Switch Lite can't be hooked up to the television, so for $349, if you go up a little bit more, you can get Super Smash Bros. With a Nintendo Switch OLED version, much better screen, so it's a better portable, while also being able to connect to your television and having the dock with it. If you can afford the extra money, it's kind of a no-brainer in my opinion. But if you're looking to save some money, it ain't a bad play. Saving $10 off of an Xbox controller is decent. Same deal we've seen everywhere else for the PlayStation DualSense controllers. $50, though fairly solid deal there. So not too bad when it comes to the hardware. Pretty much the same you'll see everywhere else, but at least when you walk into Target, you're not going to be spending more on this same stuff as you would anywhere else. I have to say, I am enjoying making these videos, just sitting here and talking about video games. And the fact that you enjoy sitting here with me and hanging out and talking about this stuff, I think it's just really cool. So thank you for doing that with me. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to start off with Nintendo again. And Target, I went ahead and scooped through these. There's no really crazy deals, unfortunately, in my opinion. But $40 for Mario Odyssey, still the best 3D Mario game. Avoid Switch Sports at $40. You can get it much cheaper at other places. Luigi's Mansion are seeing on sale everywhere. $40 for this game. Still very much worth it. Very atmospheric. Puzzler. Not a tremendous amount of replay value. Still pretty decent. As I've said before with Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom just did it so much better. But I do think it's good to jump in with Breath of the Wild. If you've already played Tears of the Kingdom, you'll still probably enjoy it, even though it's a step back. And if you have not played either of them, this is a good place to start for $40. You'll know whether or not you want to play Tears of the Kingdom eventually, right? Kirby's Return to Dreamland. I've skipped over this every single time. You want to know something? The Kirby games aren't bad. They're fun. Mario Wonder did it better. And that's what I wanted to say. I haven't said this anytime we've talked about this game. We haven't talked about this game. I've ignored it. Mario Wonder does it better, in my opinion, now. The joyful, happy platforming that's kind of easy. Kirby's got competition. So, sorry to see that happen. Some games here that I, again, have not talked about either. Look at all these Sonic games for sale. By the way, I got Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Not particularly great. But Sonic Superstars, $34.99 to $59. That's confusing pricing. Target. Why? What? I guess it's probably going to be $34.99 for. So it's so funny looking at some of these websites, especially Walmart's website. They're just so ill designed sometimes. You get used to like Amazon and you think, oh, that's just how every website's going to be. It is not. It is certainly not. Sonic Colors Ultimate for $24. Sonic Mania plus Team Sonic Racing, $25. So decent Sonic games to pick up. I also tend to ignore these accessories. Like, I don't use a Switch case. I own one. And I don't use it. And there was only ever like $5 off, which is frustrating to me. They should be considerably cheaper. Sonic Frontiers, last year's Sonic game, though, $30. Regularly $45, saving $15. I really feel like I need to play that game. I loved the open world Mario thing that they did, Bowser's Revenge, so much. I feel like I would enjoy it when it comes to Sonic. I really do. I really hope that I do. Ton of accessories for sale. Persona 5 Royale, Nintendo Switch. Runs fairly well on the Nintendo Switch. If you have never played a Persona game, Persona 5 is a great place to jump in. $25 for this game is excellent. If you like this kind of story-driven tactical RPG, I played through both Persona 4 and 5 now, the only Persona games I've ever played. But Persona 5 just, wow. You're going to get 100-some game hours out of just one playthrough. And I played through Persona 5 twice. The Royale Edition has the additional semester, which is definitely worth getting into. If you've ever wanted to play one of these tactical RPGs, story-driven Japanese kind of thing, Persona, there's just nothing like it. There really isn't. There's just nothing like it. I'm glad I tried it. And I think you should consider trying it, especially at $24.99. Every time I see Mortal Kombat 1 for sale on the Switch, it just makes me cringe. I feel bad for somebody that's getting that on Christmas morning. They've patched it. It's gotten a little bit better. But it is arguably the worst version of the game by a lot. Speaking of bad games, everybody Switch 1-2. 1-2 Switch, the original one, which should have been free with the device. Now they've made the sequel. Originally $30, down to $20 here. We've seen it for $10 at other stores. I still don't even know if it's worth $10, to be honest. So pretty skippable. Don't buy that here. You'll be very upset that you did. I also haven't talked about Dreamlight Valley. The Cozy Edition has additional content and stuff like that. This was, Disney's Animal Crossing, and it's not as cute. It's more clunkier. It's got its issues compared to Animal Crossing. But, however, when it comes to cozy games, I enjoyed this a lot. And they've added a lot of content and a lot of patches. It's still, I tried to go back to it a couple of times. It's still awkward and weird. But look, if you're just the kind of person that, like me, you're like, oh my God, there's Wall-E. Oh, he's in my village. I love having Wall-E in my village. Oh, there's Mickey. There's Goofy. There's Elsa. If that brings you some pleasure, $34 is not a bad price for this, but keep in mind, it is also a free-to-play game without the DLC and a non-physical copy. So you can get it a lot cheaper, except on Switch, especially if you want a physical copy, you're going to spend at least $34. But I felt like I didn't recommend that game enough. I really do feel like people should give it a shot if you're looking for another Animal Crossing. But again, monetized and buggy. So kind of frustrating. I did recommend this every time we talk about the Nintendo Switch. Cult of the Lamb, $24 for it is good. You can get it cheaper if you buy the digital version. This is such a fun little DLC, or indie game, not DLC, but a fun little indie game. And it's weird. It's weird. That's what I like about it. It's weird. It's dark. Not a lot of replayability. Short game. But I wouldn't mind having a physical copy of it just to have it. Just put it on a shelf and remind myself what a weird, dark time that game turned out to be. Look at a PlayStation 5 skipping right past these sports games. I'm so sorry, sports fans. Just not for me. But Jedi Survivor at $30. We've seen it at $35 at other places, so $30 here is a really solid pickup. And again, this is on my absolute to-play list. Please just bring it to Game Pass. You know, EA brings a lot of their games to Game Pass. And, of course, then the EA subscription service as well. Just let me play this game for free or for rental. I would really prefer that. Mortal Kombat 1 on PlayStation 5 plays wonderful, looks wonderful, looks beautiful. Again, I did get a review code. I think it's so important you know that. But keep in mind, and I say this every time I talk about it, it is a heavily monetized game. Look, they normally sell it for $55. I think it was $70 when it came out, right? $39 for Black Friday. Beginning of the year, this game would be down to $30 to $25 to $20 because they know they're going to make money off the back end, selling you fatalities, selling you skins, selling you combat packs 1 and 2, selling you stuff. So, base game is fine. It's great. Got a lot to it. Worth $39, but you probably get it even cheaper because they know they're going to make that money off the back end. Keep that in mind. Final Fantasy 16, $40. Really need to I just really need to play it till I get into it. I really hope that I find the time to do that. Then you got Spider-Man Miles Morales at $20. A lot of you guys pointed out that the Gold Edition, which we'll see down here, actually includes the original Spider-Man. I'm so sorry that I didn't realize that in these other games that I've talked about. $40 for both games is a pretty good deal for sure. For sure. So if you just want to play Miles Morales and already played through the first Spider-Man, $20, great. But for $20 more, getting both games is such a good deal. And I wish I had been more cognizant of that in these previous videos. I thought for the extra money, you were getting skins and suits, and I just was so disappointed in that. But if I'd looked a little deeper, I would have realized it's the full original game. And wow, both of these games are good. In fact, Miles Morales takes out a lot of the clunky stuff that was in Spider-Man, like the stealth missions with Mary Jane and stuff. In a lot of ways, it can be considered a better game. So both games, though. Get both games. Street Fighter 6, again, character creation, online mode, just a goofy fun time. It really is. The game itself is very solid as well. $40 for this is pretty good, but it is a Street Fighter game. These do get cheaper over time. Most fighting games do, so it doesn't hurt to wait, but it would be a good way to while away your Christmas break for certain. God of War Ragnarok, though, $40. And again, if you own a PlayStation 5 and you haven't played this, why? How? Even if you didn't play the previous God of War, playing this one is, you can drop right into it. It's a great story. It's got great characters. It'll make you want to go back and play the original. Go back and play the original. The original reboot, I should say, not like the original. Don't go back to PlayStation 1. But what an incredible story. Game of the year for a lot of people last year. If you skipped out on it, you really should not. You really got to get on it. Trust me. And, hey, if you're really cheap and you don't want to spend the extra money, feel free to watch somebody else play it. That's a great way to do it, too. Hey, Ghost of Tsushima, Director's Cut. The original game is great. I have not played the Director's Cut with the extra stuff. But $29.99 for even the original game would have been a steal at this point. I haven't seen this game on sale a few times. And I highly recommend it. I do want to go back and play through the Director's Cut. It's now been long enough to where my old, addled, memory-screwed brain has lost a lot of remembering what happened in this game. I remember the major beats. Once I've forgotten the major beats of a game, though, I will finally go back and play it. So I'm probably only a year away from forgetting what I need to forget here. Red Dead Redemption 2 at $20. It's the PlayStation 4 version, though. Did they reskin this game and make it prettier and make it nicer. I don't know if they have or not. Have they updated it? I don't know if they have or not. Last of Us Part 1, the reskin, the remake, buggy when it came out for PC and so on and so forth. Again, I've played the original game. I watched the TV show. I have the story memorized back and forth at this point, so I don't know if I'll ever pick it up. But if you've never experienced it, $39 isn't a bad place to go. Resident Evil 4 also on my radar of games that I skipped that I need to sit down and play. $40 for this remake, and I've heard so many good things about the remake, especially if you played the original game. They really throw some scary, spooky surprises in there for you in the remake. So it's $40 for that. I think I might end up buying. But again, I want it to come to Game Pass. I want so many of these games to come to Game Pass. Here we've seen Horizon Forbidden West, and this is always going to be the game that came out when Elden Ring came out, so people didn't play it. I've heard good things, though. Normally, they sell this one for $50, so that's a bit of a discount from when it came out. $29.99. I just went to Elden Ring, and then I forgot this existed. Sad. It's probably an excellent game, but, it just didn't get pushed. Here we've got Midnight Suns, and here's a game that I enjoyed so much. And, of course, it's on sale, a year later now, but $24.99 for this game. If you like tactical RPGs or you like card games and you would like to see those hybridized together to create something crazy weird and then have Marvel stuff in it on top of that, this is a game for you. I didn't buy any of the DLC yet. Deadpool's in there. There's a few other characters. I think Venom is one of the DLC characters. I enjoyed this game so much. I put so much time into it. It was critically not very well accepted, which is a shame. But this is just like a crossbreed of boogie things that I like. Card games, sure. Tactical games, I can like them. Sometimes I don't. But then throw cape shit into it, I'm in trouble. I'm going to put 100 hours into your game. You've got me by the hook. So that one's a fun one to recommend as well. When it comes to PlayStation 4, we'll skip over it. Elden Ring for $40 though, still just an incredible game. Absolutely worth picking up. $40. Don't forget the DLC is coming for that as well, so it might be worth picking up now. Finally taking a look at Xbox. It's always kind of depressing because there's, most of the games that you get here are multi-platform. I really wish we had some Xbox exclusives to get excited about. But Jedi Survivor here for $30. Still not on Game Pass. Easily worth picking up for sure. Hogwarts Legacy, $30. Again, if you're into the Wizarding World, absolutely worth picking up. If you're not a main core fan that loves that stuff, though, it's probably okay to wait for it. Still can't believe it got snubbed at the Game Awards. Going to say it every time. We're going to say it every time. I do love some of these controllers, too, by the way. They're beautiful. You can go to, Xbox's website and get customized controllers, but some of these are just off the shelf, especially when it comes with the USB cable and stuff like that for $49. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Oh, look at the cute little Sonic holder for PlayStation. Why is this under your Xbox system? I guess it could also hold an Xbox or a phone, it says, but it's super cute. I'm such a sucker for plastic garbage, guys. You know this. I don't buy it anymore. I'm trying to get rid of what I have, but I'm such a sucker for it. Sonic Superstars here, $34. Elden Ring, $39. Played it on Xbox. Plays great on Xbox. Very well recommended. Halo Infinite for $19. We've seen it a little bit cheaper at other places for $15, but you'll definitely get $19 worth of value out of Halo Infinite. I know everybody had this to say about it, that to say about it, and yeah, they were right to say it. It was kind of boring. An open world Halo seems like a great idea. It just wasn't executed very well, unfortunately. But it's hard to not get $20 worth of value out of something, in my opinion. Sometimes we spend more than that on dinner or on lunch for a special dinner, a special lunch, and that lasts an hour. So why not spend $20 on a game that'll last you 40 hours? That's always my opinion. Give it a shot if it's under 19. That's always been my opinion. Sonic Frontiers, again, $30 here. Something I desperately do want to actually play. And $30 seems good, but I feel like it'll continue to get cheaper. Resident Evil 4 at $40, same price we're seeing a lot of other places. Again, just so good. I need to actually sit down and play it, but so solid. Some of these Xbox One games, and I hate it when they do this here. When I get excited looking through these games and you see, I'm here for Xbox Series X. I don't want to see Xbox One games anymore. Am I the asshole to see that? I don't want to talk about them. I don't want to look at them. I don't want to think about them. I'm on to the next. We're on to the next. So we're halfway through a new generation. Anyway, Xbox One version of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands for $15. By the way, let me talk about Tiny Tina's Wonderlands for a second. I love Borderlands. I love Gearbox. And I enjoyed this game. Was it Borderlands 3? No. Was it Borderlands 2? No. Wasn't even close. But it was fun. And it's hard not to get $15 for the value out of a game. So put this one on your radar. If you're just looking to go back to Borderlands 2, Borderlands 3, just have the wacky, goofy gunplay. The acting, just like in Borderlands 3, though, over the top, too cringy in a lot of areas. Which is so frustrating, because the original Tiny Tina's DLC was just so heart-wrenching and beautiful and wonderful and well-written and goofy and over the top. And then, bleh. You could have done that. I don't know what happened to Gearbox with the writer changes or whatever, but whatever it is, I hope they find their groove again one day. I really, really do. Dreamlight Valley, again, we talked about this as a cozy game. I've talked about it several times. It's definitely something you can play on the cheap. You don't need the physical edition of this to play it, but it is a fun little cozy game. Put it on your radar. I think you can download it for free on most systems. So keep that in mind. You don't have to spend $34 to play this game unless you want a physical copy with some extra stuff in it. But it is a fun little cozy game. It's not as good as Animal Crossing. But, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Goofy, all of those characters. Wall-E. I liked hanging out with Wall-E. Obviously, I would have hung out with Wall-E because I'm one of the fat people on that ship. Let's just be honest. I'm the person they were worried about when they made Wall-E. And that pretty much wraps it up for Xbox, which is just such a shame. Honestly, when it comes to recommending anything for Xbox, the one thing I'm always going to recommend is just get that card for $15 a month that gets you access to Game Pass Ultimate with all of those games that you can play and enjoy Xbox that way. It's the best way to play until Xbox finally gets some solid, reasonable exclusives. As always, guys, thanks for watching. I love you very much, and I will speak with you again soon.